Would I be the a-hole if I moved out once my stepmom got pregnant? Hi everyone, English isn't my first language, so I apologize in advance for any mistakes, and sorry if this post is long. I, 24F, still live with my dad and grandma, typical Asian family setup. My parents divorced when I was 3, and I lived with my mom until I was 16. From around age 11 to 12, I was basically living alone. My mom worked as a teacher in the city, but also started a small salon business in the province, so she was constantly back and forth. I only saw her 1 to 2 days a week, but she always left food and money for me. During this time, I didn't have a real father figure. I saw my dad maybe once or twice a month. He didn't really know I was living alone like that. So by the time I was a teen, I developed this mindset like, you don't get to show love now when I needed it most back then. And it still stuck with me until now. My father and I don't have a strong bond or close relationship. We barely talk even while living in the same house. The only person I really talk to is my grandma, so I don't care much about his life and never had the desire to build a father-daughter relationship. This is how I got to live with him. At 16, my mom had financial issues and couldn't support me properly anymore. She asked me to ask my dad and grandma if I could move in with them. I've been living with them ever since. Fast forward to 2023, my dad finally married the woman he's been with for 10 years, his love of his life. He waited that long because he wanted me to finish high school. He's the calm, passive type who doesn't interfere much with anything, very typical Asian dad. My stepmom is the complete opposite LOL. She's loud, often yells when she gets drunk, and loves to party. She's usually the one who starts the arguments. They usually got invited by the neighbor to the party even on Tuesday night. A few months ago, out of nowhere, my stepmom started talking to me about going to the pagoda to pray for a child. She said it's been 2 years, and she still hasn't gotten pregnant. She kept going and said they were still trying for a child. I didn't really want to hear this part, so I just sat there nodding and giving polite responses like, Then she asked for my opinion, and I said, well, that's your life. It's not really my business, but I suggest getting a job and saving up some money. Also, by that time, I'll probably move out. She immediately replied, your father won't let you. I replied, he can't stop me if I wanted to. That conversation really made me start thinking about saving up and planning to move out. Jump to August 3rd. I was alone in the kitchen when she came up to me and said, I have good news. I already knew what it was. She's pregnant. I congratulated her and asked how far along, and she said 2 months. Then she said, please don't tell your grandma, your aunt, or anyone yet. I said okay. Then she continued, you don't have to move out. Your dad doesn't want you to, and your grandma will blame me if you do. The thing is, I want to move out because I want my own space. I can afford it, I can take care of myself, and I've always dreamed of living alone again, like when I was young. I grew up with a different mindset, shaped by being independent at a young age. I truly appreciate having a roof over my head all these years, but I simply don't want to live with them anymore. There was even one time they got into a drunken argument that turned really bad. She was screaming so loud, they go into a psychical fight, and it traumatized me. That was a turning point for me. At that moment, I realized if I stay, she'll just use me as proof to my grandma that she's not the reason I left. My grandma already doesn't fully support their marriage. The reason she doesn't want my grandma to know about the pregnancy yet is, my grandma is not going to be happy about it. My dad income is around $500 plus per month and will retire in 8 years. Once retired, his income will probably drop to $300 or less. My stepmom doesn't have a job. A bit more about her. She used to sing at restaurants and events, probably how she met my dad. Before the wedding, my grandma asked her to quit because it wasn't considered a respectable job. My dad didn't defend her or say anything. This is where I find my grandma, and my dad might be the a-hole here. After they got married, she tried working at a printing shop but quit within days, saying it was too hot. She then tried starting a meatball business twice and failed both times. So now she's unemployed and expecting a baby. I don't want to be stuck in this household when things are clearly going to get more stressful. I want my own space. Raising a child is so expensive if you only have one income, and in the future, I don't want to be expected to give money or allowance to a child that isn't mine. I have my own life to live. I want to leave and focus on myself, not my kid, not my problem. So, would I be the a-hole if I moved out before her due date?